Hey there, singer. I want to talk to you today about the one thing that is going to help you improve your creative skills faster than anything else. And no, it's not going to require tons of repetition. It's not going to take weeks to master. It doesn't even have to do with your singing tone. What it comes down to is your ability to sit down and assess your own singing. Yes, it may seem scary. It's not always necessarily the most fun thing to do because for so many of us perfectionists, we hate to sit and listen to any mistakes at all. It makes us cringe inside. But I'm telling you, you have got to get yourself to a place where you can sit and listen. You need to be able to assess yourself because while any voice teacher or any outside listener can assess you when they're available, when you get things scheduled just right, you are always going to be available for yourself. So find the time to, one, make sure that you are recording your rehearsals, your practices, your individual practice time, and then later, maybe it's after a 20-minute break, maybe it's after a whole day, maybe it's the next day, that you sit down and listen to what you just did before so that you can learn to hear different things, but also hear maybe what other people have been telling you for years. And even more than the mistakes, you need to start learning to give yourself credit where credit is due. The very first thing I want you to do when you decide to listen to yourself, whether it's in a practice time or if you're listening back to a performance, you need to sit down and you need to write down the things that you did well. Because no matter what level you're at, if you made it through an entire song, if you made it through half a song and that's more than you've done in the past, you've done something well. If it's as small as remembering the words or getting the rhythms just right the way they're written, to noticing that you're communicating the music well, or man, you really hit that transition between the head voice and the chest voice and it was smooth and there were no hiccups or yodeling, or maybe you're singing a country song and you were looking for a little bit of a yodel and you did it well. You need to recognize the things that you are doing well, because that is how you're going to learn to appreciate even more what you're doing. After you've write them down, by the way. After you've written them down, given credit to yourself for all the achievement that you've done, for all the good things that you've accomplished, it's time for the bittersweet part. And I call it bittersweet because maybe it comes super easy for that self-criticism, but I don't want you to criticize. I want you to evaluate. All right. And this is the sweet part. You get a chance in this technology age that we have today. You get a chance in real time to record what you're doing, to listen back to it and to say, okay, that didn't go quite as I anticipated. And maybe this section I've been working on really hard and it's not quite there yet. But again, I want you to check, is it better than it was before? And if it's not, now that you've identified it, you can go back and find ways to improve it, whether it's from outside help, whether you're asking myself or another listener of, okay, what do you think? How should I do this differently? What am I missing? What tools am I missing? Or go to a book, or maybe you just need to go back to some of those exercises that you've already been doing and just do them a little bit more. But the point of the whole process is you've identified an issue. Now that you know what the issue is, you can start to tackle that issue. Whereas before, if you weren't listening to what you were doing, maybe you got through it. If it's a 4-minute song, a 3-minute song, if you did 4 songs in a row, you may remember little bits that you might want to improve on, but you're not going to remember all of it. Another caution, don't write down everything you did wrong. One, you are your own worst critic, and you may think, hey, that sounded wrong. I didn't like that. where somebody else may say, wow, I really like the way you interpreted that. That was really neat. So keep your criticisms, keep your critiques to just 3. Each time you are sitting and listening back, keep it at 3. 3 is a manageable number. You can go back and you can work on those 3 items, and you can keep track of those things when you come back to that piece or that group of pieces if you've got many more. But also it keeps you focused on the many positives that you already wrote down. This is not about beating yourself up. This is not about making you change everything. There are some things about your voice you're going to need to accept as your voice. You are unique. You have a beautiful gift, and you have a story and a purpose that only you can fulfill. Let that sink in for a minute. You were put on this earth for a reason. You have a story to tell, and there is no one else who can do the job that you were given to do. So, when you go back to using this tool that is so important to building your creativity and building your skill and your gift, remember to keep it in balance. Remember to sit down and be happy for all the things that you did well. Identify 3 things, just a handful of things that you're going to work to improve on, and they're measurable, and you can get help with those. You don't have to do it alone. And that is such a wonderful part of our existence, is that we are creative beings and we were not meant to be here alone. So what I want you to do in your next practice time, you've sat down and you've blocked out this time that you're going to give to yourself to enjoy the creative art that you have inside of you. Record it. And then block out another time when you're calm and relaxed and ready to enjoy the bit of art that you've already created in the previous practice time. Now, I'm so excited to give you more tips and tools and to help you through this vocal journey. If you are looking to connect with me further, please click on the link below and let's chat about what are your needs and what are your next steps to getting your voice to a place where you can be creative and expressive and enjoy this wonderful thing that is inside of you, just ready to come out and be shared with the world. I look forward to talking to you soon.